John and Donna Walters arrived at the rental house on a hot afternoon in June of 1986, expecting nothing more frightening than mosquitoes and a few weeks away from work. The house looked ordinary, comfortable, almost old-fashioned, and the swimming pool beyond the sliding doors glittered beneath the afternoon sun. Neither of them knew that a man named Greg had died there the summer before. The rental agent had mentioned an accident only in passing, never explaining where it happened. By sunset, John and Donna had unpacked their bags, opened the sliding doors for the warm evening air, and eaten dinner beside a pool that had already begun remembering them. That first night, Donna lingered beside the dining table while John carried dishes toward the kitchen. The pool beyond the open doorway had become a dark blue rectangle surrounded by black hedges and soft yellow patio lamps. Donna noticed the water beneath the diving board moving differently from the rest. The surface everywhere else was still, but the deep end trembled in a tight circle as though someone below were breathing against it. Then the movement stopped so suddenly that Donna wondered whether she had imagined it. Near midnight, John stepped outside to retrieve a glass he had forgotten on the patio table. Donna remained near the open sliding door, watching him cross the stones toward the pool. A man's voice drifted from the deep end. It was faint enough to sound impossible, yet clear enough for both of them to hear the same single word. It said John's name. John froze. Donna stared at the water. There was nobody in the yard, nobody beyond the fence, and nobody standing anywhere near the pool. The following morning, John dismissed the voice as a neighbor's television carrying strangely through the night. Donna was less certain. She searched through a drawer near the kitchen telephone and found an old envelope accidentally left behind by a previous renter. Inside was a newspaper clipping about the death of an adult man at the property during the summer of 1985. His name was Greg. The clipping contained a small photograph. Donna studied the wavy brown hair, heavy mustache, and serious eyes, then looked toward the pool and felt suddenly certain that the voice outside had belonged to him. That evening, Donna tested the pool without telling John what she intended to do. She stood several feet from the water, far enough that she could reach the house quickly, and silently thought of something almost nobody knew. She asked aloud where her mother had hidden Donna's engagement ring before the wedding years earlier. The pool remained still for several seconds. Then Greg's voice rose gently from the deep end and described the blue sewing box, the folded handkerchief inside it, and the ring hidden beneath the thread. Donna's stomach tightened. John had never known that story. Donna backed toward the sliding doors, but the voice continued. It described the apartment where she and John had first lived, the cracked kitchen tile beneath the refrigerator, and the name Donna had scratched beneath a wooden dresser before they moved away. Every detail was correct. None had anything to do with Greg. Whatever was speaking from the pool was not simply repeating the memories of the dead man. It was using Greg's voice to reach into memories belonging to the living. John finally agreed to listen the next night. Standing together beside the pool, they asked the voice what it could see. Greg's voice answered from somewhere far below the deep end. It described the underside of the diving board, the pale pool walls, John's shoes at the edge, Donna's hand gripping John's arm, and then things that should not have been there. It described people standing beneath the pool floor, all adults, facing upward as if the concrete above them were glass. John leaned over the water, staring down. At first, he saw only his own reflection and the blue glow from the pool light. Then, another face appeared directly beneath his. Greg's adult face stared upward through several feet of water, perfectly still, his dark mustache drifting slightly as though underwater. John jerked backward. The face remained beneath the surface for one more second before descending straight down into darkness, where the pool should have ended. Donna dragged John into the house and slammed the sliding doors shut. The effect was immediate. Greg's voice disappeared completely. Not quieter. Gone. Donna pressed her ear against the glass while John watched the pool. Outside, the deep end churned violently. Through the glass, they could see the water striking the tiles as though someone were screaming beneath it. But inside the dining room, there was absolute silence except for the refrigerator humming in the kitchen. John tested the boundary several times. With the sliding door closed, the pool was silent. When he opened it 3 inches, Greg's distant pleading instantly returned. The moment John shut it again, the voice vanished. That discovery frightened Donna more than the voice itself. The house was not haunted. Something outside wanted them to leave its protection. Whatever had Greg's voice could not cross the closed doors, and now it knew they understood the rule. Later that night, Donna woke in the upstairs bedroom and saw the pool glowing beyond the closed window. The curtains were open, allowing her to see the diving board and dark surface below. A shape rose beneath the water. Greg's pale face appeared just beneath the surface, mouth opening and closing rapidly. Donna heard nothing through the closed glass. The face looked directly toward her bedroom window, but it could not call her, command her, or reach her. When Donna closed the curtains, the room remained peacefully silent. John awoke and refused to believe glass could make any difference. He crossed the room and lifted the bedroom window several inches. Greg's voice exploded into the room as if it had been waiting against the outside wall. It begged for help from the deep end, describing cold water, crushing pressure, and something holding both of his ankles. Donna slammed the window closed. The voice vanished midway through a word. John did not reopen it. The next evening, the voice changed its strategy. Greg no longer described memories. He pleaded for rescue. According to the voice, his body had never truly left the pool. Something beneath the deep end had kept a part of him trapped there since 1985. It insisted that an adult swimmer only needed to dive down, grasp his wrist, and pull upward. Donna heard desperation in every word. John heard a trick. John approached the deep end with a long pool skimmer instead of entering the water. He extended the pole toward the place where Greg claimed to be trapped. A pale adult hand shot upward beneath the surface and seized the aluminum pole. John barely held on as something dragged the skimmer downward with astonishing strength. Then a second hand appeared. Then a third. All adult hands. They grabbed at the pole from different depths until John released it, and the entire skimmer vanished vertically into water that was nowhere near deep enough to swallow it. At breakfast the following morning, Donna noticed something lying beside the sliding doors outside. The pool skimmer had returned. It rested neatly on the patio exactly where John normally left it. Water dripped from the handle, although the morning stones around it were dry. Wrapped around the far end were several long strands of dark brown hair. By the third night, the pool concentrated entirely on John. Greg's voice called to him whenever he stepped outside. It described private moments from John's adult life that Donna had never heard. It recalled a motel room from years before their marriage, a scar hidden beneath John's shirt, and the last words John had spoken to his father. The more impossible the knowledge became, the more determined John grew to find a rational explanation. Donna stood beside the pool while John searched around the fence for hidden speakers. Suddenly, Greg's voice stopped coming from the deep end. It spoke from directly beneath Donna's feet. She looked down at the stone patio. The voice seemed to travel beneath the paving stones like water moving through buried pipes. It slowly circled her, whispering from beneath one stone after another, until it reached the pool, coping, and plunged back into the deep end with a wet, choking sound. Donna became convinced Greg himself was not asking for rescue. Greg's voice was only something the pool had saved. The pool remembered how he sounded when he was frightened. It remembered his pauses, his breathing, even the way his voice broke when he begged. Whatever lived beneath the water had preserved the final sounds of a dying man and learned to use them like bait. John still wanted proof. He stood at the shallow end, staring at his reflection while Donna remained near the sliding doors. His reflection suddenly turned its head without him. Reflected. John looked toward the deep end while the real John remained facing forward. Then the reflection walked away beneath the water, crossing the pool floor upside down until it joined Greg's submerged figure. Both reflected men turned and stared upward at the real John. The following night, the pool became unnaturally clear. John and Donna could see every tile at the bottom of the deep end. Greg was standing there, Not floating, standing upright on the deepest floor, wearing the same brown striped shirt from the photograph. His hair moved gently in the water, but his clothing hung as though he were standing in air. He raised one hand and pointed toward John. Behind him, darkness opened like a doorway in the pool floor. A shape moved through that impossible darkness. Donna could not see a face, only something far larger than a person moving beneath Greg. Greg's body jerked upward as though strings had pulled him. His mouth opened, and his preserved voice came through the water, begging John to rescue him immediately. Donna understood what the pool wanted. It was not trying to bring Greg out, it was trying to bring John in. John decided the only way to end the fear was to prove the pool contained nothing supernatural. He planned to enter during daylight, when the water looked ordinary. Donna begged him not to test it, but John believed fear had magnified every strange event. Shortly before sunset, wearing swim trunks, he stood at the shallow steps while Donna waited beside the open sliding doors. The pool was calm. Greg was nowhere visible. John entered slowly. Ankle deep, knee deep, waist deep. Nothing happened. He laughed nervously and moved farther out. Donna almost believed he had been right until John reached the center of the pool. Every underwater light extinguished simultaneously, even though the patio lamps remained burning. The water around John turned black from below. John stopped swimming. A hand had closed around his ankle. Donna saw his expression change before he said anything. Beneath him, Greg's pale face rose from the darkness, eyes wide open, striped shirt floating around his body. Greg's mouth moved, but the voice came from every corner of the pool at once. Then dozens of adult hands emerged beneath John. John fought toward the shallow end, but the pool no longer behaved like water. The current dragged sideways toward the deep end with impossible force. Donna grabbed the rescue hook and reached toward him. Before John could take it, Greg surfaced behind him. Only Greg's head and shoulders rose above the water. His face looked exactly like the photograph except for his mouth, which stretched open far wider than any living jaw could manage. Greg's scream changed into words. The voice begged Donna to rescue John. It perfectly copied John's frightened breathing between sentences. Then it began switching back and forth. Greg's voice, John's voice, Greg again, until Donna could no longer tell which man was actually calling to her. John was still alive, but the pool had already begun learning the sound of his terror. John shouted toward the house, and Donna finally understood the only action that might save at least one of them. She ran. The pool erupted behind her. Water slapped across the patio as something heavy climbed onto the coping. Greg's voice screamed for her to turn around. John's voice screamed her name. Donna refused to look back. She reached the sliding doors, stumbled inside, and pulled them shut. The instant the doors sealed, everything became silent. Donna collapsed beside the dining table. Through the glass, she could still see the pool thrashing violently. John struggled near the deep end. A man's shape stood behind him in the water. Several pale adult faces pressed against the surface from below. Yet Donna could hear none of it. Then John disappeared beneath the water. Donna rushed toward the handle. Outside, John suddenly surfaced near the sliding doors. He struck the glass with both hands and screamed soundlessly for Donna to open it. Donna reached for the latch, then stopped. Something was wrong. John's body outside continued pounding on the door, but beneath the pool surface, Donna could see another John floating face up in the deep end. One John was outside the house. One John was still in the water. At sunrise, Donna finally opened the sliding door. John was lying on the shallow steps, exhausted but alive, his body trembling from the cold. She helped him across the patio and into the dining room, then pulled the door shut behind them. John could barely stand, and he remembered almost nothing after the hands dragged him beneath the surface. For the first time since they had arrived, the swimming pool was completely quiet. Donna watched through the glass as the water slowly became still. Greg did not rise from the deep end. His face did not appear beneath the surface. No voice called John's name, no pale figure stood on the bottom, and no shadow moved beneath the diving board. Even when Donna cautiously opened the door again after sunrise, there was only the ordinary sound of water moving against tile. John and Donna left the rental house that morning and never returned. Whatever had been trapped inside the water since the previous summer had finally disappeared with Greg. By the time their car reached the end of the road, the pool behind the empty house had become perfectly motionless. Greg's face was gone. Greg's voice was gone. And for the first time since his drowning in 1985, Greg was gone from the pool. John survives because the pool never fully succeeds in taking him. When Donna runs into the house and shuts the sliding doors, she breaks the pool's influence over her. John is still outside and in danger, but he manages to reach the shallow steps after the supernatural force holding him begins to weaken. By sunrise, the pool's nighttime power has faded enough for John to pull himself free. Donna then opens the door, helps the exhausted John inside, and closes the house behind them. Both of them are alive. The important part is that Greg was never truly the monster. The pool had been holding on to Greg since his 1985 drowning. His face, his frightened voice, and the memory of his final moments. It used those pieces of Greg to frighten and lure John and Donna. During John's struggle, the supernatural connection between Greg and the pool is finally broken. When daylight arrives, Greg's face no longer appears beneath the water. His voice no longer calls from the deep end, and his figure is completely gone. That means Greg has finally been released. He is not hiding somewhere else in the house or waiting beneath the pool. His presence has ended. John and Donna leave the rental alive, while Greg's haunting ends with them.
Thanks for watching.